Hey everyone, this is Ms. N with Ten Oaks, and we are going to get started on our unit opener. So let's take a look at page 1. We look at the real world connection. Take a look at this price tag here. Where have we seen that before? I know I've seen it at Walmart, at Lowe's, at Kroger, everywhere I go shopping. I've seen the little unit retail price tag, okay? So that's what we're going to learn about for this unit, is we're going to learn about what something costs per unit. So have you ever gone to a store and seen something like that? You probably have. 24, so let's take a look at what it says right here. It says 24 cents for a bottle of juice. You decided to buy 10 bottles. Unfortunately, you will have to pay $3.69 for this bottle of juice. The 24.3 cent is the unit price. Knowing about the rates and ratios will help you buy your juice and solve problems about percent, measurements, and in speeds. The reason why we do this is we want to spend the least amount of money for the most product as possible. And that's why we're kind of looking at proportions and relationships, is we're looking at how things are different depending on maybe 1 unit price, maybe on 2 unit prices. We're going to be learning how to solve problems and how to use unit rate to help us solve percentage problems. So ratios are going to be very, very fun. So before we start, what I want you to do is in your book on page 1, you're going to see the self-check right here. And you're going to go through, and I'm going to give you a little bit of time here, and you're going to check off the things you already know. So in this before this unit column, I'm going to give you 1 minute. Read through each I can statement and put a check mark by clicking text box. And let's change the color so that we can see what you're actually writing and it sticks out. And let's mark which one of these boxes we already know how to do. So for example, I might know how to compare equivalent ratios already. So I'm just going to put an X there. I might not know how to write a ratio or describe the relationship between 2 quantities yet. So I'm going to leave that blank. And maybe I don't know how to find the rate and the unit rate yet. So this is kind of just a personal self-check just to see where we're at right now. So I'm going to give you a little time to do that. The next thing we're going to look at is our vocabulary. So I'm going to pause the video right here, so you should just click on that little play button to pause it and finish your self-check if you haven't finished so already. And we're going to jump right into the preview of the unit and talk about our vocabulary next. Alright, let's take a look at some of the words that we're going to use. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read the directions right up here. Okay, it says below are the words you may know. Write a meaning, for example, of each word. Discuss the meanings of words you don't know with a partner. Okay, if you don't know them, leave them blank. But if you do know, hit pause and fill in what you do know now. Let's go over the words together and let's go over the definitions. Okay, we might have heard of the word describe before. It means to say what someone or something is like. And again, some of these aren't math terms. We've used them in ELA, in science, social studies. So it really doesn't matter where you've heard it from. We just want to give a meaning or an example of what the word describe means. So I'm going to say to say what someone or something is like. And that means to describe. Let's take a look at our next word. Quantity. We've heard of this in science before. Okay, a quantity is the amount or number of something. And as I'm writing this down, you should be writing it too in your book on page 2. Let's take a look at the word relationship. Now, relationship can mean many things. A relationship can mean a connection, or it can be two things that are linked together somehow or some way. If you guys have ever played, I think it's called the 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. I know it sounds weird, but you watch a movie and you connect it to another movie by maybe a couple different actors that come together. That means they have a relationship with each other. Somehow, some way, they're related to each other. So let's type down this definition. It could be a connection or a way in which two things are linked to each other. Let's take a look at the word calculate. Okay, now this one is a math term, or it could also be kind of a science term. We use the word calculate in order to use math to find the amount or quantity. See how we use that vocabulary word of something. So we're looking for the amount of something. We're calculating. Let's take a pause right here, okay? Let's take a look at that previous page, okay? We looked at the bottle of juice, and we talked about how it costed $3.69, okay? So take a minute right here where it says real and right for real world connection, and sketch what 24.3 cents and what $3.69 is with that juice, okay? So we can talk about a small portion of the juice costing 24.3 cents, and then we can talk about the whole juice box itself, and it can be $3.69. So let's see what you got. Hit pause here and take 5 minutes to draw that out. Take a look at this apply it section down at the bottom here on page 2, okay? It says 1 bottle of juice costs $3.69. How much do 3 bottles of juice cost? So what would be your ideas on how we'd figure out what 3 bottles of juices cost? Draw it down here or write it. I'll give you a couple minutes. Hit the pause button. In the last part of our unit opener section, we're going to think about this concept. Okay, in this unit, we're going to learn about ratios and rates. Math concepts you may have already used many times and not even know it. Rates, ratios, unit rates, we all compare something in some way, right? If I gave you 3 apples, you would give me 3 different kinds of apples. In comparison, they have to be the same. They have to be the same thing. They have to be apples. You can't just be giving me like 16 bananas and then I give you 3 apples, because it doesn't compare. Okay? So we're going to use as many real world situations as we can. And here's some examples that are given to us already. It says pay 24 cents for each ounce, or drive 35 miles per hour. What are some other examples we can put here? We can say something like you can earn $10 per hour working at a fancy restaurant like McDonald's. We can eat, some of us eat 5 meals per day. I do. Gotta love my donuts. Okay, eat. But some people, normal people, right, eat 3 meals per day. Okay, we're only looking at 1 unit. Okay, maybe some people type really, really fast. I only type 22 words per minute. Okay, notice that word per in everything that I do. Up here you have an each, but here you have a per. Okay, so you can use per or each to help us describe unit rates. Okay, so here we have an illustration. I'm not able to do it on Cami, but you can definitely do it Actually, I might be able to. Nope, that's a highlighter. Okay, well, here is where you would draw one of these examples, or if you made one of your own examples, you can draw it here. And then some related words that we can think of would be maybe the word price. I'll click on my text box. Okay, so we've looked at prices so far. Okay, what about some of the examples that we saw up here? What are some of the related words for that? We saw the word each. We saw the word per. What's another example word that we can use? All right, after you're done, we are done with our unit opener. So I will talk to you guys at another time.